And we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. This Train Up a Child 2023, and today we have our guest, our speaker in the house, and our speaker, Coach Abibo. Will be talking to us again on how we can help our children not to abuse media, and also helping out, to help parents to help their children not to abuse media, and of course, also in the area of preventing them from sexual abuse and screen abuse. All right, without much ado, I'll just do a brief introduction of the speaker. The speaker is a life transforming coach. He's a mentor, a counselor with a mission of raising kingdom driven preteens and teens. Preteens, teens, and youth. Let us welcome him to Train Up a Child 2023. And this is going to be our fourth session of the day. Yes, it's been a long day. Thank you so much, sir. And the
Thank
floor
you
is yours
so
now.
much. Thank you so much, Z.
Yeah. What happened? What happened? Okay, I think we have lost him. Let's get him back.
I've been shut out. I don't know why.
Yes, I can see you now. I'm so sorry
Okay, good
about
evening,
that.
everybody. Thank you very much, Z, for doing what you do. It's a privilege and not a right to be here. Thank you very, very much. I listened to Ade Jones yesterday. I listened to a few other person, Fort Ike, and I think one other person, and it's been an awesome journey. Please let's give a thumbs up. Let's celebrate Train Up a Child conference. It is not really easy to start up a conference like this and build a tempo, and it's been going and going and going. I am always excited. Thank you. God bless you. God increase you. God restore you. God supply for you. You will lack nothing good. Everything you need according to God's purpose is released upon you.
Amen.
Help will come for you on every side. All
Amen.
right. Thank you. Having said that, welcome everybody. Thank you. I know I can't see the comment sections, but I think I can give the values I have to give. All right, so today I'm talking about how to help as a parent, how to handle, manage screen time, media, and also protect your child from sexual abuse. So I'm going to start with screen time and digital technology. The first thing we need to understand is we are in a digital world, a world where the technology had taken over the society. So we have increased use of technology. The internet had become a common commodity for a lot of young people today. I would start with a story very quickly because I'm going to marry everything together. I don't know. Z, please let me know if they can hear me and everything is fine. So I'll just teach that way.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So the first thing I want us to understand is parenting is a ministry. Parenting is a calling. God called us to be parents. Parenting is not by chance. Parenting is a choice ministry. It's a ministry that's in the heart of God. So marriage, parenting, it's a call ministry in the heart of God. And God, expects us to take responsibility for it. God loves us unconditionally. Okay, can you hear me now? I don't know why the network is kicking me off. Can you hear me, ma? But I can't hear you. I don't know why the network has been kicking me off. All right, so I'm saying parenting is a
You
ministry,
couldn't
is
hear
a
me because
calling.
my mic was muted. So I
Okay,
can see you. I can hear you.
okay. All right, thank you. You know, and God had given us the ability and grace to do this. All right. So we need to trust God to be able to handle it. And technology had come to stay, the media had come to stay. The thing you need to understand is the media is an intentional tool. There's nothing wrong with the media, there's nothing wrong with the screen. The challenge is the heart of people are what create content in the media. All right. So the more we understand the value of the media, the better we understand what we do as parents. So let me take the screen time and media in these four directions. All right. So we're going to talk about family rules, routines, transition, and choices. Family rules, routines, transition, and choices. Family rules, routines, transition, and choices. If you want to manage screen time and digital technology use in your family, you must understand these four basic things. So let's talk about family rules for screen time and digital technology. Family rules about screen time and digital technology use can help your child understand your family limits and expectations. For very young children, it's a good idea to keep rules simple and brief. And for older children, you could make these rules part of the formal agreement that you and your children discuss, negotiate, and sign. Here are some questions you really need to ask when you want to start these family rules on screen time. Do you want guidelines about screen time? What about weekend, holidays, or tech-free days? So part of your family rules should be what time do we have screen time as? Is it on weekends? Is it on holidays? Is it on a daily basis? Or is it we have a special day that is called tech-free day? So many people need to understand that you don't just hand over technology or the screen to your children. Children have to be prepared for the use of technology. You see, let me say this, unprepared children who are given screen or technology become abused or abusers of technology. So your child should be prepared before you hand over a technology to him. The child needs to understand social media. The child needs to understand technology. The child needs to understand the impact of social and technology on him or her. So many of the children that are exposed to technology without training and preparation, they are either abusers of technology or they are abused by it. So we need to be careful. We need to understand, when are we handing over a child, a media or a technology to a child, or the screen to a child? Why are we? When? Why? How? Those are questions you need to put in. When can your child use digital technology? For example, not until homework or not until mealtime. Do children need to use technology? At what age should your child start using technology? You need to ask these questions as a family and then create family rules around it. Where can your child use digital technology? For example, in family rooms, but not in bedroom. All right. So you need to expose your child to digital technology in the family room, in the living room. That's the sitting room, not in their private room. Many parents just hand over a phone, hand over gadgets to their children, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, and then they allow them to go into the room with the technology. And guess what? You don't know what your child is doing with it. You don't know who is preying into your child's privacy with the technology. I remember vividly how a child was sexually exposed to pornography at the age of 5. I shared the story in many of my classes. This young girl was a student. I used to be a school administrator. She was a pupil in our school. Her mom came to pick her up, and then the mom passed by on my office to discuss some things. And the girl said, "Please, sir, can you give me your phone?" And I gave her. She said, "Just take off your password." And I did. And this girl went on on YouTube and she typed PORN. And the mother beat her up and was like, "What kind of thing is this? Blah, 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 blah." And this mother beat this child up. I held the mom. I said, "That's not what to do." So I took the child aside and I began to interview her. By the time I interviewed her, I realized that her cousin who was 7 years old, who came to, spend the time with them. Her cousin, came to spend some time in their house. And this is the mother's elder brother, who is a pastor. And this cousin of hers exposed her to lesbian pornography and gay porn, or lesbian, whatever it is, but lesbian pornography, female and female, male and female. And that was how this girl knew about porn. She really did not know exactly what she was going for, but she knew what she saw, and she became so used to it, and she was watching it. Now, who gave this 7-year-old girl technology without preparing? Giving a child technology without preparing the child makes the child a disaster to a society. So this girl, do you know how many children this girl had influenced? Do you know who influenced her? And do you know how many children this other girl had, this 7-year-old girl had influenced? And when we made an inquiry into who exposed that to her, she says her classmate. So how did the classmate begin to use technology at the age of 6 or 7? We need to prepare our children before we hand over the screen to them. Not you say, oh, my child just is crying. I need to give him the gadgets or the phone while I am busy because the child is distracting me. Don't give your child gadgets that will destroy their future because you want to be at peace. You will not be at peace when their future is destroyed. All right? How can your child use digital technology? For example, to play a puzzle app or make animations, but not to watch YouTube. But excuse me, you need to train your children about these things before you hand this thing over to them. Otherwise, you have to be in control. You have to be in control. You have to guide. You have to help them see the need for using and not using. Some of the apps we have today, they are even sexualized apps. I remember the boy playing a game, and for the boy to go into level 1 to level 2, he has to use an animation to draw a long penis. And then from level 2 to level 3, he has to create a vagina. And level 3 to level 4, the boy had to put the penis and the vagina together. What exactly is that game about? It's about teaching the boy how to, into sexual activity. And it's an abuse. So we don't just say, oh, they're innocent. Let me quickly say this. Sexual predators or abusers do not know innocence. In fact, there is nothing called innocence in the heart of sexual abusers. There's nothing called innocence in media. An innocent child can be abused. In fact, they seek for innocent children because innocent children looks more vulnerable. Innocence and ignorance will work together to destroy the future of your child. Look, innocence is not the quality for a child. Don't be proud your child is innocent. Be proud your child is knowledgeable. Let me say it again. Don't be proud your child is innocent. Be proud your child is knowledgeable. Because innocence in ignorance is destructive. So your child should be knowledgeable to know what not to and what to do. It's something we need to pay attention to. So making the rules, you need to understand, how do I make these family rules? Because you don't just make rules like that. It's important to involve family members when you are making family rules about screen time. All right? Help them understand, all right, look, the reason why we say no screen time, first, from when they are born, you need to, you need to reduce screen time because you have to become the model ambassador for screen time reduction. Some of us as parents, we give all our attention to the screen, watching Telemundo, Z1, every activity we're watching. Meanwhile, we're carrying the child. So as you're breastfeeding and carrying the child and you're watching, the child is focused on the screen. Guess what's happening? The child is getting too used to what you are used to. And then by the time the child is growing up, the child begins to make demands for screen. And you start getting angry. Excuse me, you are the one that exposed the child to the screen because you model the system the child to follow. Don't forget, you are the one that paints and color the world that your child sees and follow. And you are the first educator to your child's destiny. So you need to be a model and example. Your rules should be flexible enough to cover school days, weekends, and holidays. While they are using the screen, if they have to, you have to create events and activities that will train them and bring out your family values with the screen. The screen time should be able to model your family values. It should communicate your family values. All right? It should communicate your family values. It should expose them to the things that you want them to learn. You have to censor what exactly are they showing on these things. What do we have to watch? As sad as it may look, many activities on the media today do not expose children to quality of values. It destroys their, the fabrics of their culture. They are sexualized activities. Almost everything is showing nudity. Nudity is now a common commodity and a trend. If you're not nude, it looks like you are not, you're not qualified to be in this world. So you need to ask yourself, the rules need to be, put into place. You can change it as the growth happen and as the education continue, but you must ensure that you are communicating effectively with the children. So when the child breaks the rules, there need to be consequence. You can discuss and agree on some consequences for situations like that. All right, because of our time, let's go to routine and screen time. Routine helps children to know when, what, and how to use screen so that they will not become abusers of screen. All right. For example, if you want to put limit on your screen time, you can make this part of your routine. You might decide your child can watch television or use tablet, but only between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. or only between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or for 30 minutes. But there must be routine in your family. Don't just keep it open. No, let there be a routine. So the child knows, first of all, that he has to watch the screen for 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. The second thing is there are particular things the child has to watch. So it's not because he's using the screen, he watches everything. No. There's a routine. There are family rules, there are routines. All right? So the routine will help you know how to guide this child. So they know very well that this is when we are to watch television and the programs we have to watch. I know a family that, look, the children know. One of the days I went to that house and I just turned on any channel. They said, no, we can't watch this. And they all walked into the room, including the 3-year-old child. It was not that I was seeing a war movie. It was a war movie. And he said, no, we're not supposed to watch this. I said, why? They had to go in and started saying from the room, said, this is teaching us fight and the rest of them. And our parents had told us we should not be violent and the rest of them. I was so excited with that family. Believe you, because they have built a culture and they had built family rules and they have created routine. I've stayed there till about 6 or 8 p.m. in the family. And once it's 8 p.m., every child knows they can no longer watch television. So there are particular programs they watch between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's a culture, that's a routine, that's a family rule. And they are applying it, including the 2-3 years old children. What does that tell you? It means you can build a culture that works in your family. You can build a lasting routine. Your children will always follow cultures and routine. Are they going to violate? Yes. But when they do, there are consequences that are attached to it. Grow your children with systems. Grow your children with structures. Grow your children with routines. Don't just leave it anyhow. And you also have routines because your children are watching you as their role model. Screen time transition. That's the third thing we need to look at. We need to learn how to plan transition. Your child might find it hard to stop watching a television or playing a game or whatever. So you need to plan transition, all right? So you give the child a phone and say, oh, you have to stop by 8 p.m. And the child is playing a very interesting game. What you need to do is set your child expectation about the screen time section before they start. Look, the time is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Are we agreeing that by 7 p.m. you hand over the phone to us? If yes, you have the phone or the gadget. If no, then it's not for you. That agreement must be settled. Choose your timing. You don't expect a child to choose the timing by themselves because they don't know. If you allow them by their emotion, they will do whatever they want to do. All right, choose your timing. All right, look, choose between 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. You are giving them options that are under boundaries. So the timing you give to them will help them say, okay, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. They are in between the boundaries that you've given to them. And they would have to stick to it. Give your child a warning. When it's almost time to stop, for instance, you have to say, Abibo, it's time to switch off the television and end the program. Or, Abibo, you have just 10 minutes left to use the media. All right, I think I'll send out of the group. Are we getting values? Are we getting values? Please, if we're getting values, just type values, values, values. All right, give your children warning before time. All right, make them understand why they have to be there 10 minutes, All right, it's almost time for us to go to bed. We love you. Give them hugs, give them kisses, pray for them, give them good night rest. They go to sleep. When you build culture, you help your children thrive because they now have a predictable system that can support success. When you build culture, you help your children thrive because they now have predictable system that can help them thrive and succeed. Very important. Give your children time to save what they are doing. So they are playing a game, they have to save it 10 minutes to the time. Can I support you? Can I assist you? And then they save the game. All right. Another thing we need to talk about is choices about screen time and data use. What are the choices that we have to make? You have to play games or watch television program with your children and talk about what they are seeing. Look, family time is important. Watch movies with your children. This is one thing I always do. I've started in my family. So we see a movie. I ask my wife, what are the lessons that you learn from the movie? And we have to start it. So we're learning lessons from the movie. We're talking about the lessons. What are the things that are not supposed to be for the children? We're talking about it because our children are going to come and they will have to watch movie with us. So we need to know what lessons. So we call a culture that has to be that we are not just seeing a movie. We are seeing movies and we're learning lessons, positive lessons, negative lessons, and how do we use these lessons for our family? So don't just throw it up to them. Oh, they're just watching movie. Ah, did you enjoy the movie? Yes. Oh, no, no, no. What are the lessons? So it helps you create family conversation. It helps you teachable moments. So your child is not just watching a movie. Your child understands for every movie they watch, they have 5 to 7 lessons to share. And then everybody is talking about the lessons and how does it apply to our home? Are these lessons what we should take in as a family or we shouldn't have it as a family? So it will also make you to know exactly what your children, the way they are thinking, how they are relating to movies, if they are paying attention to the movies or not. It will help you know what exactly is happening to your child. Yes. These are critical skills that we need to pay attention to. As parents also, we need to ask, it starts from you. Parenting begins with you, not with your child. It begins before the children show up. If you can't parent you, then you are not qualified to parent the children. With the style, the structures, the system you have now, can you become a better version of you if you were a child raised by you? Can you become a better version of you if you were a child raised by you? If you are asked to parent yourself with the way you are, what would you become? That's the question you should ask yourself. So build systems. Ask your children whether they think they've chosen good quality contents, allow them make choices sometimes. All right, what movies are we watching? So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 movies and they're lined up. So, okay, let's talk about the movies. What are the values that you're going to get from these movies? What are the values that you're going to get from these movies? So we take movie A today and everybody creates the value system for the movies. How does it relate to our family values, family structures, family vision, family goal? You have to look at these things. It will help your children know that you don't just watch everything on screen. Everything could be on screen, but not everything is for you. Not everything is for you. The child begins to realize that it is not just about movie, it's intent and content. It's beyond just watching. It's understanding message. Let me know, please. All right.
Okay.
All right. See,
You're good.
you need to, let me say this there. The way we groom our children, we decide how corporate grooming. Children and life itself. get angry when even some parents are watching some things. They're exposing our talk about. In the book I shared, protect your child from sexual abuse. Abuse of not speaking up, speak up. How do I change this class? Let me quickly say this. My class is in 20 minutes. I should be
It's really breaking.
Become. And for you to help the child to become.
Coach Abibo. Okay, so the line was breaking so much. I guess he will be back very shortly, and there's so much that we have learned already. He made us to understand that media is not just for watching, or sorry, movies is not just to watch. Underneath it is content and intent. There's an intention for whatever you are watching. I mean, the people that created it had an intention when they were creating it. And these days, it's more than entertainment. It's really more than entertainment. A lot of agendas are being sold through um, through movies, good agendas and bad ones, most especially. So we want to be careful what our children are looking at, what they are watching. It made us to understand that you cannot give a child a phone and you have not prepared him for it. You can't give a child a phone and you haven't prepared your child for the usage. Okay, are you there, sir? So sorry, the network is bad. Are you back? Hello? Hello, sir?
All right, thank you so much. You are doing awesome. Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm here. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, please ride on. Ooh, network. Oh my God. Okay, so so he was talking about you can't hand over a phone to a child and you have not prepared the child. So he told us some of the things that we need
Parenting
to
is
be
a journey and not a
okay.
responsibilities, rules, and reward. Relationship responsibility, rules, and reward. And let me quickly say this. I didn't want to go so far on the agendas of movies and media, but every movie and every music or whatever has a narrative. They have an assignment. It doesn't happen. There are intents and content, like I said before, and we understand that for us. All right. So another thing we need to understand is by starting a conversation with when they are young, talk about the body parts. I hear some parents are not able to talk to their children about the body parts. In fact, they call the body parts different names. I ask why. You don't want to spoil the child. And I said, that's foolishness. The penis, you cannot tell. What's wrong with how are you that you can? I remember where a teacher was abusing a child, was actually, and the boy said, sir, this teacher is using my ogini. I said, what's ogini bar? He said, Anna. I said, bar. He now began to touch his penis. I said, penis. No, it's ogini bar. Because that's what the parents call the penis. But abusing him. So imagine that I don't pay attention, I don't know exactly what it is. I went to the school, teacher, his penis. Look, you have to call it by name. Teacher, the body part, the name. It is armpit, is call it. All right? Your body to teach that belongs to you, and no one has right to touch or, tongue, kiss you, especially if you want them to. They need to know their body parts. They need to know that their body to them. Teach that some body parts are private. Help them the body parts that are private. Teach your children body parts. Teach your children the bodies. All right. Your parents always tell secrets. Them understand. Look, in our family, we don't keep secret. Our parents and everybody what's happening to us. Because most perpetrators will tell the child to keep their abuse a secret. This can be done in a friendly way, such as, I love playing with you, but if you tell anyone else what we played, then you would not play together again. So the predator will say, oh, they will do everything to make the child trust them, and they would want to ensure that the child keeps a secret. That's how they abuse children. You have to tell your children that no one should take pictures of their private parts or touch their private part. Like I said before, private part remain private. It's not for anybody. The worst part is today, even parents are abusing their children sexually. The worst part is even some parents are abusing. No one is permitted to touch your private part except the doctor. That's when he has to and when you're sick. But your parents or trusted adults must be there. All right? Do not keep any secret about kissing or touching. Tell your parents, teachers, or trusted adults about it. It's part of what I shared with the children in the book. You don't have the right to touch others without their permission. In fact, you don't even have the right to touch them. They are not your body. Because children abuse children today. It's called peer abuse. Children abuse children today. I remember the parent reaching out to me once that her 6-year-old child was abused by her 6-year-old child's classmates. And this girl had been fingering her for a long time, more than a year, to the point her vagina got so red and then started the infection. So they thought it was the convenience they were using in school. Only for one day, her daughter told her, after 1 year plus, and said, Mom, please don't be angry with me. Please don't get daddy. Please don't beat me up. My classmates have been fingering me. Why didn't this child inform the mother early enough? Because she was afraid. Because she was afraid. Please, sorry, give me 30 seconds. Sweetheart. Because she was afraid. That's why I talk about relationship. Build quality relationship, ongoing relationship with your child. That your child will not be afraid to expose anything that is happening to him. Teach your child how to get out of scary and uncomfortable situations. Your child should know that, look, my mom, my dad are the people I should, be vulnerable to. And I have to do it on time. I shouldn't wait till things are bad before I show up and communicate with them. That's why you need to create that consistent, ongoing relationship with your child. That's why I said, look, parenting is first about relationship. You consistently build quality relationship with your children so that they can become vulnerable to you. The way to win their heart is to build quality relationship. You have to be a parlor parent. What's a parlor parent? You have to be present with and for your child. That's P. present with and for your child. You have to be available and accessible for your child. Many parents are available at home, but they are not accessible. Your child cannot access you because you are so busy looking for money, but you are home. And the only time the child can access you is when you want to discipline or flog the child. No, 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 that's not the way to go. You have to be that parent that is accessible. Your child should be able to come to you no matter what and even if. Your children should access you when they make mistakes, not when they are perfect. In fact, perfection is illusion when it comes to child upbringing. Your child should be able to learn from you. Oh, I've made a mistake, but I have to run to my parents because they care about me. Yes, there are consequences, but I better face the consequence of my parents because they love me unconditionally than to run away from them. If your child runs away from you when the child makes mistake, check it. There is no unconditional love. Your child feels like he's only qualified to receive your love when he does right. And that's not a safe place. You are supposed to be the safest place for your child to live. Your relationship, your communication should be the safest place for your child to live. Yes. So where the child runs away from you, it means there's an issue. Be the safe place where your child is contented to feel loved, even when he makes mistakes. That's why I always define parenting. I say your greatest responsibility as a parent is to love your children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. Your children should not qualify for your love. Otherwise, you're not giving unconditional love. Your children should receive the love because it's love that transforms. Transformation does not happen until love shows up first. In fact, children do not become vulnerable until they see love. And wherever love is, children are vulnerable, and that's where they thrive. So you must pay attention to these things because there's a quality of effective parenting that will make your child open up to you and protect your child from sexual abuse. Many children who are sexually abused and keep quiet is because they cannot become vulnerable, and their parents are going to accuse them and blame them for the things that happen to them. That's why people don't talk. So you need to ask yourself, do I have quality relationship with my child that will make my child become vulnerable to me when they make mistakes or when they are sexually abused? You don't have to wait till that moment. You have to start the conversation and create a relationship now that is early. Let me quickly say this to you. The trauma of child sexual abuse is more damaging than to mentor and nurture your child. Trauma is damaging. And to repair such challenge and trauma, it's very expensive. Therapy is expensive. That's why you need to start relationship before it becomes a therapeutic challenge. Build quality relationship with your child so that they will understand how to guide themselves, how to protect themselves. If you need training as a parent, we are there to help. If you need books for your children, we are there to help. I had done a research and I've done a study, an interview, an interrogation. I realized that many children were sexually abused before they turned 10, and very few of them were able to speak up. Very few, less than 2% were able to speak up. And those that spoke up, their parents did not accept it. They did not agree. They did not understand. They did not believe them. So many children don't speak up because their parents will not believe them. And guess what? Abusers are not far from the home. There are people most times the parents know. Yesterday, a parent was telling a child, oh, you have to be careful of strangers. I said, no, you have to be careful with people that are close to you because strangers will come to become friends of the family, win the heart of the parents, then become sexual abusers of the children. Are we making sense? You need to teach your children. You don't have to sit on an adult's lap or hug anyone if you don't feel like. It is sad that some parents will force their children to hug somebody. Hug is not by force. Don't force your child to hug your sibling. Don't force your child to hug anybody. They should give hug willingly. Teach them the value of hug. But if they are not comfortable hugging a person, please don't force them. If you force them, you are empowering the abuser to take advantage of your child. Don't force your child to hug anybody. No. Hug is not by force. A handshake is good enough. Except the child feels very comfortable to hug the person. Are we still there? So don't say because a family member. Also, let me say this to you. Because someone is your sibling or your brother does not mean the person has a license and permission into the life of your child. No. Let me say this. I said this today and I've been saying it. If your siblings do not have the same standard and value with you, please don't expose your children to them alone. Many of the persons I've interviewed, it's because they were their cousins. That's why they listened to them and they were abused. They were exposed to pornography. They were exposed to masturbation. They were exposed to lesbianism. Many of them happened with people they trust. So because someone is my sibling, my brother or my sister, and I saw that their values are not, with the same with my family values, I don't have to expose my children to them. Are we going to visit? Yes. Are we going to play together? Yes. But my children have to be in my care. They have to be my support system. They have to be in a place where I can see them and know what's happening. Because my values are more, my children are more important than, you know, the family that I came from. Hey, excuse me. Look, I have to protect the future of my children because it's my responsibility and my gift. It was my parents' responsibility to protect me and my siblings. It's my responsibility to protect my children and their siblings. So I can't trade it for anything. Stop investing time with people that do not add value to your family. Do you reject them? No. But you need to protect your children because, look, there's family abuse everywhere. You have to teach them, do not take off your clothes for anyone, neither should anyone take off your clothes without your permission. Accountability is a very good thing, an important skill. So, oh, let me just see what's happening. Your breast is fine. No, 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 no. Such person should be reported. Become the safe place for your child to throw their mess and their mistake, and also be vulnerable to share what's happening to them. Become that safe place. All right, I have to just rush out. Stay away from adults or friends who talk about sex and other negative activities. Stay away from them. What are the friends talking about? What are the adults in their life talking about? What are they sharing? What are they talking about? You need to teach your children, look, there's so much. This is not what we cover in a class. But it starts with your relationship with your child. It goes into the sex conversation. When did you start the sex conversation? Where did you start the sex conversation? Who started the sex conversation? I asked a lot of children, before you turned 12, how many of you had your parents had sex conversation with you? Many of them did not. Look. Your child is not safe if you don't start the sex conversation with them early. The child-related sex conversation. Learn it. I have books for that. I have an ebook called The Sex Conversation. How to start the sex conversation with your child. What to say. How not to say it. Because of our time, I just have a few minutes more. I'll just wrap up with two things. These two things I want to share are very important. We live in an age where pornography is becoming a new normal. Porn is becoming a new normal. And if we're not careful, we're going to have a lot of children that are exposed to pornography, porn, and it's going to destroy their life. So we need to learn what to do and how to handle those challenges. The media is a good tool, depending on how it's used. Sexual abuse are happening every single day. Child sexual abuse is becoming a common commodity. It's becoming a norm. And many children are keeping quiet. Our children need training. As parents, we need training. As teachers, we need training. As child handlers, we need training. As schools, we need training. We need to build systems that work. How do I protect my child from pornography? We have a book titled The Porn Protection Guide, How to Protect Your Home from Pornography. We have a lot of materials that can help you. I told you I was exposed to pornography at the age of 7, got so engaged with it at the age of 9. I became an addict for 14 years, struggled with it, and then even went to porn school to become a porn star until I encountered God again. And then I went through therapy. And I tell you, it was not cheap. It almost destroyed me. It affected the way I thought about women. It affected the way I thought about myself. It affected the way I thought about sex. It affected the way I thought about life. It affected almost everything about me. And many young people are going through the same. You know, it's like cancer. If you don't diagnose it early, it becomes destructive. So porn is like cancer. It starts with little, just a view, just by mistake. And then it gets to, let me see it again. And then you become a user. Before you know, you become someone that is struggling with it. How can we help our children through this journey? We can't do all of that in this class because we have very few minutes and someone else has to take over the stage. But we must consistently build this effective relationship that can help our children become more responsible and become resilient and become pure in a messed up society. Satan is seriously working. We can't keep quiet and just pray about it. God had given men skills and knowledge to help us as parents and help our children handle this mess. Look, I don't have a lot of time, but I think I've given a lot of values from today's class. Thank you very much, Z. I'm open for questions before we end today's class. Thank you very much. Z, I think your mic is off. I don't know. Check your mic.
Thank you. Thank you. So I was saying thank you for sharing with us. We really appreciate this, and it has been enlightening. Um, the truth is that there's so much going on in our world today, and like he said, the devil is at work, seriously at work, sexualizing children at a very early age. So much is going on, but we can do something about it. I always tell parents that don't wait until you see something happening, oh, somebody's sending the next Disney World video coming out. There's LGBT agenda there. They start running helter skelter and start sharing all over the place and helping the people's ministry. The truth is that you need to be proactive as a parent. And he has told us these things. You have to be proactive. You have to know what to do. You have to know what to do. Safeguard your children against this thing on time. Let them be aware the horrors of the social media. Let them hear things from you first. But the problem is most times we don't really even have a connection with our children. And he has emphasized that there's no relationship. All you have is rules, no relationship, So it's amazing. Thank you so much, sir. I just pray we heed to these things. I just pray we heed to these things because, in fact, there's serious fire on the mountain, and it has to do with this media of a thing. Because even pornography today, you don't even need a stranger to go out. Many siblings are sleeping with themselves because of the media, because of pornography. We do not even know. Your siblings, your children are shouting in the room, laughing. You do not even know what's going on there because of these things. So we need to be very careful, please, parents, and very cautious. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I can't seem to see. Okay, let me check quickly. I think I have a question. Okay, no question. It's a very serious conversation, honestly, and we just need to we need to be serious about it. We really need to be serious about it. As parents, we have to wake up. The gadget is more like it's like it could be because the gadgets, they are amoral, they are not good or bad, but it could, if it's used in a bad way, it can be worse than a viper, honestly. So thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you once again. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to the next session, and it will start around 8 o'clock. All right. So we need to be very sensitive to the times we live in. Very sensitive to the times we live in. And that's why I said, as a parent, you need to be proactive. Don't run help. Don't run. Don't let it be because something came up. You have to start doing your job. We need to be proactive, and that's why we need to teach our children these things and help them. He spoke about rules. He spoke about responsibilities, and he spoke about routines. And these are some of the things. If you were not here or you've not heard about the promo going on right now, that has to do with our inner circle. There's a promo going out right now for our inner circle, so you get 30% off, and also you get to do an installment. Okay, so you want to click the link, any link you see on this video, please click it and register on time because it's just a conference promo. And we also have how to introduce your child to Christ, how to introduce your effective ways to introduce your child to Christ. We have that webinar coming up on the 6th of May. Please take advantage. Don't wait until something goes wrong. Be the first to tell your children. Be the first, I like to say, to brainwash your child. Don't wait for someone to first put things in them before you now start doing something about it. Because when these people begin to concoct their agenda, they concoct their agenda for even very little children, for 2-year-olds, for 3-year-olds. So why can't your 3-year-old and 2-year-old not start to have that impression of Christ? Why not? Why not? So if you want to learn effective ways, please, you need to tell other people. If you want to learn effective ways, you need to sign up for that webinar. And if you also want others to know about it, then you share. Okay? I'll be sharing the flyers with the community shortly, maybe tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye.